is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, tell everybody what is it that we
Tony
do.
and Mike, those are idols. We're the second most handsome duo in the industry. They are first because we give the people what they want.
We have an update on LeBron's availability to the Lakers. We know what Jimmy G feels about the 49ers drafting Trey Lance. We have Conway the Machine coming later, but we start with a big game last night between the Nets and the Bucks. Watching this game, it had a true playoff atmosphere back and forth. It was the Bucks who pulled away in the fourth quarter and got the win. Jalen, the way things are looking in the standings, this could be a playoff preview. What do you think about this matchup?
I want to tell everybody a secret. The Bucks have a big three. See, we're going to make sure that we give Giannis his acknowledgement as the reigning back-to-back MVP, and he's been outstanding this year. Improved his passing and improved his three-point shooting. But don't underestimate Chris Middleton, in particular in the fourth quarter yesterday. He was terrific going 6 for 6. He was the game-changing player. And again, Jacoby, he's a guy that can get his shot off the dribble. He plays mid-range. And since it isn't spectacular, high-flying above the rim, people dismiss the numbers that he puts up, in particular in crunch time. Oh, and don't underestimate Drew Holiday.
Talk to him.
Absolutely. He's going to give you that defense. He's going to give you that size for a guard that can play near the basket and a steady three-point shooter. So again, if the Nets have a healthy James Harden, we know the talent that they have. I understand it. But without James Harden, put some respect on the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm glad you brought this up because everyone watching this game is going to talk about how they left Giannis around to shoot, and Giannis could dominate their bigs, but it was Middleton who took over and helped them pull away in the fourth, and it was Holiday, 23 points, 10 assists, and the game was still sort of in the balance at the end. Kyrie Irving's dribbling up the floor. What's Holiday do? Give me the ball, steals it from him, and the Bucks get the win. However, Jalen, watching this, and now the Sixers have a 1.5 game lead over the Nets for the top seed. Watching this, I'm still picking the Nets in a 7-game series against the Bucks. This is going to be a second-round matchup. I would still take the Nets, even without James Harden, in a 7-game series against these Bucks. All that being said, but this is, you know what? They're playing chess, not checkers. They're trying to avoid the Knicks in the second round. That's all you're trying to do. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. They're trying to avoid the Knicks in the second round. That is why they're allowing the 76ers to have the top seed. And I like this matchup for the Nets. They don't have anybody that can stop Giannis. Well, guess what? The Bucks don't have anybody that can stop Kevin Durant. So we'll see what happens down the road when these two meet in the playoffs. But Jalen, there's something else going on with the Nets and the Knicks. The Nets are a little intimidated. The Nets know that the Knicks have this city's heart because James Harden doctored a New Yorker cover, because this is the cover of the New Yorker, a prestigious magazine that I don't read but my wife does. And I was surprised I saw this in the house. He took the Knicks out of it. That just shows that he knows that he needs to make a statement to the city that the Knicks don't exist, but the city loves the Knicks so much more than the Nets. Your thoughts, Mr. Rose?
My thoughts is the Nets haven't played one complete season with their big three and are already the second most popular team in New York City. Just think about it. When they put this big three together, we talked about having KD, having Kyrie, and then having James Harden join the squad, how they would just now grab the city. Everybody that we brought on the show, can this be a Nets town? Can this be a Nets town? And then you know what happened? Julius Randle.
Yep.
You know what happened?
RJ
Derrick Rose. You know, and then all of a sudden, Tom Thibodeau has a team that Jacoby, as a die-easy fan, wants the Nets to try to think they're going to avoid in the second round because he loves the New York Knickerbockers so very much.
Until they start losing the playoff series, and I'll jump off the bandwagon so fast. While we talk about how the playoffs are shaping up in the East, now it's time to turn our attention to the Western Conference because there was a big game for the Mavs. They ended up getting the win, which puts them in 5th spot in the West, seemingly safe from a play-in tournament situation. Jalen, what do you think about this performance from an unlikely duo from the Mavs?
All I say is this. When I watch Luka, I want to believe that that's Earl the Pearl Monroe in today's game. I really do. Just how he puts people on his hip. He plays at his own pace. And we're going to celebrate him for being all NBA. But give my nephew Tim Hardaway some flames. He's on fire like NBA Jam. And it started in Detroit. I poked the bear. I was like, come on, nephew, seriously? Like, seriously? I'm going to come to the game and you ain't going to do work? Like, seriously? And then I look up Jacoby. He had 40. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to lean back like Fat Joe and not say nothing to that man no more. And then after he shot us down, I even had to go pay homage to his family and his dad, who was at the game and promised him why he should be in the Hall of Fame. But this guy making 10 threes. The Dallas Mavs, are they firmly going to sit at that 5 spot, Jacoby?
Oh, there's so much influx. There is so much influx, especially when you look at this and you look at the Lakers. Like, oh, the Lakers have the similar record as the Mavs. Maybe they could leapfrog them, but LeBron James is out against the Clippers. LeBron James is going to be out on Friday against the Trailblazers. Ooh. That Friday game against the Trailblazers is such a big game. It's basically a playoff game, and I can't wait for that. But before we give you an update on LeBron James, and before Conway the Machine joins us later, we have to talk about Jimmy G. Because I don't know if you noticed, but we spent the last 2 months talking about the 3rd pick in the draft and what quarterback that would be for the 49ers. And they already have a quarterback named Jimmy G. You said it was going to be Trey Lance. Who they end up picking? Trey Lance. But now Jimmy G has said that he welcomes Trey Lance to the team, and he's happy to mentor him. Jalen, take us behind the curtain. Is he really happy to mentor this rookie, or does he want his starting job?
He wasn't happy when he got picked, but once he got picked, you have no choice because you got to be a good teammate. Don't let your character distort what the team just did and make you and Trey Lance not have a good relationship. They teammates. They just happen to play the same position. That's what happens in pro sports. Don't make Lance just like you. Go out, do your thing. Be a confident quarterback that got paid top dollar, that led the team to the Super Bowl, that has a great relationship with George Kittle, that has the respect of the players that have already seen him ball. And then that's all you can control. Now, when you start to struggle, you know what the other 52 guys are going to also do? They're going to be like, it might be time to go to Trey.
Trey looks good in practice. However, I want to say one thing about this that is unique because of the unique season that we had in college football. Trey Lance played 1 football game this year. Football game this year, which tells me that Jimmy G is going to have an opportunity to start week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. And Jimmy G is going to have an opportunity to show his team and other teams exactly what he can do. So Jimmy G can look in the mirror and say, I'm in control of my destiny. They're not going to start Trey Lance week 1. I'm in control of my destiny. If I go out there and put it on the field, there'll be a market for me for San Francisco 49ers or for another franchise.
All I know is Jimmy G better have some irrational confidence. He should be going to bed at night and be like, if the Packers trade Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be my job. That's going to be my job. If Seattle trades Russell Wilson, that's going to be my job. That's how he has to think about it.
As he should. It is now time for some very important news that matters. Jalen, one thing I know is very important to you is your grilling, especially your production of delicious lemon pepper wings, which I have had the honor and the privilege to have had many times in the past. But Jalen, restaurants nationwide, grocery stores nationwide are facing a chicken shortage and prices are soaring. How do you feel about this news?
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I just got an update from the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones just immediately dropped faster than it ever has. The S&P, the stock market, everything.
What's happening? Economic collapse?
Yeah, because all blacks just decided we're not working until this shortage gets fixed. we're not working, dog. We're not working.
Jalen.
You can't get your flats.
Jalen.
I can't get my whole wings. Hey, dog, we need to push pause on everything, dog.
Oh, no.
I might
Jalen,
delete my IG. I'm going to delete my Twitter.
Culture. A voice for the voiceless on most of these topics, but in case someone's like this, we just gotta go to break. Go to break.
Hey man, what am I gonna do with my life?
The machine from Gazelda joins us in just minutes, but first, it is time for the segment where you decide what we discuss. It is Keep It Moving.
Gazelda family. Woo!
If you want to discuss the topic, say hit the brakes. If not, we will keep it moving. And we start with an update on the status and availability of a gentleman by the name of LeBron James. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
I just saw Method Man. I think Inspector Deck going to join the show this week too. We have legends on this show. Hit the brakes.
We'll hit the brakes on this one. LeBron James is going to miss 2 crucial games for the Lakers as they try to avoid the play-in tournament. One against the Clippers and then one against the Trail Blazers on Friday. Jalen, I'm very confident in the Lakers, but this is bad.
Well, here's the deal. You just don't want to be in play-in territory, and I just had you hit the brakes so I can make sure I stress one thing. If the Los Angeles Lakers are a part of the play-in tournament, they will not win the NBA championship.
Completely disagree with you there. Just because they had to play their way into a 7 or 8 seed does not make them any less dangerous in a 7-game series. You know that if they're in a play-in tournament, they're going to end up with either the 7th or the 8th seed, and then they're going to end up in the tournament, and then they're going to end up in the NBA Finals against the Brooklyn Nets. Remember where you heard it first. Moving on. Jalen, did you attend an NBA basketball game yesterday with one of our favorite players? Yes, you did. What was it like watching LaMelo Ball, our favorite player, in person?
He's just a magnetic basketball player, and it's just almost like a quarterback that you know that you're open at all times. Just to see people constantly looking for the ball, pointing for lobs, cutting and moving and being enthusiastic because the basketball has energy. And it was great to see him up close and personal, this year's Rookie of the Year. But they're a well-coached team. I want to give them a lot of credit. Coach B, I saw Jalen McDaniels playing quality minutes. It seems like everybody that comes into the game has a purpose. Scary Terry took his time to make big-time shots late. It just seems like everybody has a purpose that gets minutes on their team.
I think Borrego doesn't get enough attention as somebody who's really turned the franchise around along with the players on the roster. Moving on. Matt Rule has confidence in his new quarterback. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
He should have confidence in his new quarterback. That's why he has him. We're going to keep it moving for now.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
We have an update on the status of Dak Prescott. And before you decide whether to keep moving or hit the brakes, remember, he plays for the Cowboys and we work at ESPN.
All right, just hit the brakes. Just hit the brakes.
Yes, do it for the executives. We'll hit the brakes on the Cowboys topic because we work here at ESPN and Dak says that he could play a game right now. He's ready to go.
When are meaningful football games going to be played?
October.
All right. I'm happy
September.
for him.
Keep it moving. We have an update on a Seattle's receiver doing something off the football field. DK Metcalf is going to a U.S. track and field event to run the 100-meter dash with an eye on, wait for it, the Olympics. Jalen, watch him run here.
I am not mad at it. And it's not just the speed. It's the size, the bulk, and the power that he also carries. And this just continues to show how some of these players who are professional athletes are just so very amazing at more than what they actually do as their day job. For this guy to compete at a U.S. track and field event, that is impressive. I'm wishing him luck.
Jalen, our producer Demetrius is not going to want you to hit the brakes.
I am,
so we're going to hit the brakes on this one.
This for you, D.
Raiders GM Mike Mayock said they had an offer to trade down to get Alex Leatherwood, who was projected to be drafted way after the Raiders drafted him, but they just couldn't let Leatherwood slip through their fingers. Jalen, what do you think about this draft strategy from the Raiders?
All I know is this. I'm a Lions fan, and even I was laughing at them, dog. Now just think about that for a second. Just let that sink in for a second.
Dog, on the broadcast, they drafted Leatherwood. Everybody, all the analysts were just like, where are my notes? Where my pages? Leatherwood on?
Like, who was that?
Who is it? What's his name? Leatherwood? Isn't he a Game of Thrones character?
At least we got Waller. We did get y'all Waller. We did do that.
Y'all don't have a good team, but you got great uniforms, Raiders fans. Not a good team, but great uniforms, great city, great stadium. Focus on that.
Still disappointed they left Oakland. You know Detroit and Oakland got our kinship. You know
who else is kin to us? The Griselda family, and we have Conway, the machine, joining us right after this. Make sure you stay tuned through the commercial break.
Buffalo, stand up.
Pleasure of being joined by Griselda's La Maquina, Conway the Machine. Here is just a snippet of our long interview that you can get on our podcast. Well, you just broke some news. You're taking yourself on the road after being in quarantine for so long. What can fans expect when they see you on tour?
Oh, man, I'm so excited to be back on that stage and just be back in front of the fans and the people. It's just going to be, I don't even know what to expect, honestly, man. It's just going to be full of energy. And like Jalen said, bars, man, you know?
You represent Buffalo, which is a ways from the city of New York, but it's still New York. And right now there's sort of a battle going on between the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets for the soul of the city. How do you feel about what's happening in New York basketball right now?
Man, I love it. I love it, man. You know, I'm a fan of both teams, honestly. Like, since, you know, in the 90s and all that, you know, the Larry Johnson, Sprewell days and the Allen Houston days and even with the Nets, like the Van Horn and, you know what I mean, Vince Carter days and all that before they went to Brooklyn and stuff. So it's just dope for New York's, you know what I mean, the city of New York, man. I'm happy for them. I'm excited. I love what I'm seeing from the Knicks. I love what I'm seeing from Brooklyn. And I just can't wait for the playoffs.
You're a huge sports fan. Obviously, You're a rap music and a musician that's a historian. But I don't think you love anything in sports like you love the Buffalo Bills. What was it like to watch them go to the AFC Championship last year, and what do you expect from them this season?
It was so dope, man. I couldn't be more happier as a citizen of Buffalo, New York, and a fan since, man, I was old enough to remember the Buffalo Bills. It was so exciting and so dope for the city, man. The city was so lit. It was crazy, and you know, I think we're going even further. You know what I mean? We had a real nice draft, and I think, man, it's looking up, man, for us right now. You know what I mean? It's our turn. We own the division now. You know what I mean? Bills Mafia, man. Bills Mafia.
So I jumped on the Bills bandwagon this year, and I'm riding it again. Yeah. So when you say you own the division, you're saying that the Patriots have sort of re-upped. They got Mac Jones, and then you've got Tua down in Miami, and obviously the Jets have got a new quarterback. So you don't feel threatened at all by these teams sort of bubbling up trying to take the title?
Man, I don't care who they go get, who they go sign. Bills Mafia, man. Bills Mafia. We're gonna win the division this season coming up. Next season possibly too. We're going on a real run. We've been losing and been in that drought for so long. Like it's our turn, man. We've been. And, you know, I say this in all seriousness, man, the fans of Buffalo Bills is like one of a kind. We've been out there through all those loser seasons, 20 years, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, and still selling out them games in frigid conditions, and it's still love, and we cheering for our mob. So it's like where we at right now, we worked hard to get here, and we here to stay for a while. I believe that, truly.
There isn't a show that's a bigger fans of you, Westside and Benny and the Griselda family. Jacoby, as he mentioned, is a Die Easy Buffalo Bills fan. Please, as the season starts and you go on tour, this is your home. This is your parking spot. Come on and kick it with us about whatever, whenever.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for having me. I mean, I'm excited, man. I appreciate y'all.
Word. For sure. That's mutual, family.
Want to thank Conway for coming through. Make sure you listen to the podcast, get the full interview. Jalen,
Bars!
tonight, we have the New York Knickerbockers taking on the Denver Nuggets in Denver. What do the Knicks need to do to get the upset?
I know you're going to be staring at Julius Randle and RJ Barrett and Derrick Rose and quickly to come in and heat check, but the Joker, I think he has an MVP caliber game and a bounce back one. Stay tuned. And more importantly, check us out tomorrow.